Any Lightwave user out there that's had to go through this hellish nightmare will be very pleased to hear that this can now be very easily replaced with this, using db&w's multi-image sampler. It's a Patreon thing, and for a Lightwave user it is definitely worth checking out. I'll put the link in the description below. I'm going to show you a quick preview of the multi-image sampler node and how it can replace hours of tedium. Let's rig a couple of examples. I've already prepared images 1 to 30 PNGs, as you can see. I'm going to show a couple of examples here. So based on a box, we are going to, with our finger on the command key, just draw out a square, F2 to center. The first example will be based on mesh parts, the second on instances. So straight away I'm going to copy that, paste it into a second layer, bring up the layers panel, instances, and we'll call this one mesh parts. Okay, so with this mesh parts layer, we are going to the multiply tab and where is it? Array. Now what we want is we want 30 pages starting from the top all the way down. So let's zero out these, 30 in there. Now I want 30 top down, as it were, so we're going to put in -0.2. I think will be okay for this. Doesn't matter too much. H for stretch, so we're going to squash it down. F3, rest on ground. Great. Okay, so that's it for our model. So just to recap, we've got mesh part, which is 30 pages, and 1 page here, which we're going to use instances on. Save that, send it to layout. We're in layout. Let's turn off the instance layer because we don't need to see that right now. We'll address that later. Mesh part. So select that. P. Turn on nodal displacement. Double click that. Right away I'm going to set the input to set because I always forget to do that. You can see I'm going to run out of screen space as well. So under the view tab, let's select add view, perspective view. That's good. All set up for quick displacement. Let's get the nodes we need. Start with mesh part and translate. Multiply, and a make vector. Deformed into the displacement input, part indexed into the multiply, 0, 0, 0, 0, and we're going to displace it along the X just so we can see what we're doing, and we're going to multiply that by 3. Oh, remember to connect that up. There we go. So 3, 4. Okay, that's so that's displacement out of the way. That's just enough, like I say, just so we can see what we need to set up. Let's dive straight into the surface editor and the node graph. Here we are there. That's all good. db&w, 2D textures, and the star of the show, the multi-image sampler. So connect the color into the color. Now to preview this, we can only see it in VPR, so let's turn that on. Okay, so let's set it up. So double click on the first thing. It's not immediately apparent what to do or how to set it up. So the first step all happens in this area here. So right mouse click, load images. So as I showed earlier, I'm going to highlight all of my 30 images. Don't need that one. Open. Okay, 130. Great, but nothing showing up still. So how do we do that? Firstly, projection. Let's go to the projection. We want a planar. We want to pipe that into the projection. And straight away you can see that that's being tiled, but we want to select auto size for that. Next step is quite simply get our mesh part, feed our part index into our index. But as you'll see, not a lot has changed, and the reason for that is because we're set to relative. If we set to absolute, bosh, pages 1 to 30 textured in about 2 minutes. Let's reconfigure this to work with instances. So unplug that, turn our meshes off, select our instance, item, clone instance. We'll try a slightly different setup. Radial array, instances, go for magic 30. Rotation, rim, widen out the radius. Okay, that's all set up. That's pretty easy. Shift F5 to bring the surface editor up. We've already done the hard work. In this case though, we want instance info, and we will replace the mesh part with the index. Excellent, 1 to 30. So I really shot through that, but I hope it makes sense. Now if we needed to change our page orders, quite simply just move up and down, select the image you want, move up, move down, add images, remove, all that sort of stuff. Just go through there and play with that. You can't pick up and drag, unfortunately. I suspect that's more of a limitation of the Lightwave interface than the plugin. But yeah, go to the check out that Patreon site. It's a winner.